Hello guys, Sendou here again. Today we're gonna talk about one weapon, and the weapon is Tenta Brella. And just to start this video off, I'm gonna just look at this, I'll show his name in a second, but Japanese player with Tenta Brella. I'm just gonna want to show this like what is actually possible with the weapon if you are, on the next level with it. I know the video quality is kind of poor, but I think it should still like convey the idea. Yeah, like this was a video that I watched that I kind of got motivated to play the weapon more. But you can see this is pretty next level. I'm guessing some Japanese X rank Rainmaker. Just doing short work of the enemy team here. But yeah, you can already see some of the topics I'm gonna talk about soon here. What is strong about the weapon, and of course this is like highlight reel, so it's not like you always will be playing like this or anything like that. But just I think it's pretty interesting still to see the potential of the weapon, like when you really reach the actual next level with the weapon. It's really like quite a sight to behold. And yeah, I believe we're gonna reach the end of the clip here soon. Just a couple more multicals because why not? And I think like the best thing to point from this video is just how fast he gets the shield every time. And that's like I think the biggest buff. If you're wondering like what buff made Tenta Brella so strong, then it has to be the shield being allowance fast. But yeah, this is by Daso_SP if you wanna go check his Twitter out, you probably should. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at the weapons just briefly and try to talk about a couple things where the weapon actually is seeing more play. So the obvious aspect of it is, of course, Japan leads and the West follows. In some things, it's unquestionable like this, but Tenta Brella has been played in Japan for a long time, so I don't think that's like the only explanation we can offer here, because you have seen Tenta Brella like maybe more map specific thing, but it's still been very much a thing in Japan this whole time, and in West, I mean barely. I mean this weapon still has some meme status in West. Even now if I play it on stream, people are like, oh, Sendou's memeing, like for real, like they don't understand the strength of the weapon. So that's why I had an idea to make this weapon. But yeah, like I talk about, like the buff they made to how fast you can launch a shield is of course very huge. I mean, this weapon is just all about the shield, obviously. Like, if you want some other aspects of the weapon, then you probably can get them elsewhere better. But just how fast you launch a shield and how fast you recharge the shield, that as well. Like, these two aspects combined give you so many options to just deal with the short range combat and approach enemies and so on and so on. Like, the shield is basically can be destroyed in normal situations. So that's of course a big part of the weapon itself. Other than that, honestly, like all the stats for the weapon are kind of good when you think about it. Like you get pretty decent paint really, and with pretty good range, combined with very fast bubbles. Bubbles still, I think, one of the better specials in the game. Just not played that much since none of the really like traditionally strong weapons have it. So then you are kind of playing between heavy deco and Tenta Brella most of the time. But yeah, of course, Beacon as well. Beacon underappreciated, but yeah, on most maps it's not crazy useful. But it's still like it's reducing the downtime your team has from going back to spawn. So I don't think Beacon anywhere is like a deal breaker. It's never what you especially want, but it's not a deal breaker. It's kind of nice, and in some situations definitely feel the strength of it. Other than that, we also have, of course, the one-hit KO, which is hard sometimes, to say the least. But it's still an option, and in some situation when you get more experience with the weapon, you definitely can feel that, okay, I'm confident I can kill that guy in one shot. And that's like gonna be a big part of it, but you can see me miss it there. Like it's still very easy to miss with the weapon, and of course it needs a lot of practice. I believe the guy that clip I showed you has some 4 number hours of this weapon in the game, so it takes a lot of practice for sure. But with weapons that need a lot of practice, it takes maybe a longer time for people to actually get the hang of them, to learn them. I mean, with Tenta Brella, of course, you have the shield, which alone is pretty hard to master. But also the aiming is is hard to say at least sometimes. Now we have a bit less dualist. Dual is especially hard to aim with this weapon. Most other things, not so much really. And like any other thing, you can learn it by much. So, to me, every stat of Tenta Brella is actually pretty good. Like there isn't anything that is super weak with it. Of course, the end lag of it is terrible. Like end lag meaning that when you shoot, you have a long time before you can shoot again, and there's a lot of time for the enemy to punish you. But when you get better with your aiming, and when you get better with like managing your shots, it's not that much of a factor. Sometimes you just make a mistake and then die, but that's with every weapon. And of course the weapon itself is also very map specific. Some maps are going to be better for Tenta Brella than others. I think this is even now true when the weapon is seeing more play across all the maps. But say something like Camp Triggerfish, for example, you have a lot of like narrow pathways that are made for Tenta Brella. As well as you have the beacon and bubbles to shut down them even further. I mean, the beacon is like, you know, the map is super wide. Like it's super hard to destroy beacon. Like say I put one beacon here, or even better blazings for it. But it's really reducing the time coming back from spawn a lot, right? And it's very hard for the enemy team to destroy the beacons if you spread them out like so. And then of course, like I explained, the bubble and the shield to really like shut down the area. Like you can see like how wide the shield actually is when it's approaching you like that. And this is one of the first maps where people are playing Tenta Brella, like Camp Triggerfish Splatoon. But yeah, I think just to sum it up, like why the question being, why is Tenta Brella being played right now? Why hasn't it been played before? And I think the biggest part of it is just people are slowly starting to learn the game and starting to learn the weapons that aren't as easy to pick up from the get-go. Because when you think, like the easiest weapons are the ones that are the most popular early on. T-Tech was really popular early on because it's really easy weapon to play. There's nothing like really like crazy depth about it, and this is not to undermine the big mains. Say, of course, I realize someone like Ursa, who has insane amount of hours with the weapon, has different outlook than someone who's just picked it up. Like that's not what I'm saying, but still, like think about something like Tenta Brella, like how many things you have to manage to really play it successfully at a high level. And to me, there's a lot. Like you have to manage the shield, you have to manage your shot, you have to learn how to use bubbles and the beacons the best way. Like there's a lot to manage with the weapon. So I think the biggest part of is simply that it was hard to learn. But of course, also at the same time, I have to say that the buff with the shield, like before it took so long for the shield to launch, now it's rather fast. So I think that is still quite nice buff for the weapon, and that is like in the main situation for me, which like just spam the shield the whole day, and that's just good results to me. But yeah, that's the video about Tenta Brella. Hopefully that answers some of the questions. Why is this weapon seeing play right now? Why is this weapon strong? And if not, then so you just have to go try it yourself and see if you can figure it out. But yeah, see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.